guys, Mike here again from Munster Rugby. We've decided to give you another skills challenge to help improve your passing technique and challenge you with different distance and stances. So if you don't have a partner, no worries, simply grab a round ball and a wall and just make that slight finger adjustment with your guide hand, bringing it back a bit. You can still execute the technique, so no worries. Now, technique is all about repetitions, so let's start with day one with 120. Okay, let's get into the setup. So we're wanting to spin pass, so let's be aware about our finger placement. So with our guide hand, we want our thumb putting pressure through the ball about 3/4 of the way up. And with these two fingers, we want them opposite, but down low, so about 1/4 of the way up there. Then we can generate pressure through the ball to create that spin. Load the hips, the next one, and we're aiming for about high hip bone here, with a nice bent elbow. That's a really good shape. The other detail is we want to get that bicep over top of the ball, and to do so just simply rotate your power hand a little bit, and that's going to do two things: engage the shoulder so the biceps over top of the ball, we can punch through, but also help with the assist in generating a bit more spin. The next point is an action, and it's a punch. So we're doing it with our power arm, and we're simply coming up and over or parallel to our guide hand. Okay, so we're not coming down, because that's going to end up with the ball going up and over our target. We're not coming around like a haymaker, because it's going to end up in behind our target. It is simply punch action. Okay, so we're keeping our hips relatively square, but we're rotating our torso to our target and keeping our shoulders nice and level. Next thing is the point, and we're simply pointing to the target. So you've got your two options there of coming up parallel or coming up and over. The key thing is that we're pointing with our guide hand, and to generate a bit more spin, we're ripping that thumb down. Okay, so just be aware that when we're doing this, we're not falling away from our pass. We want to really punch that shoulder and engage to the point as well. All sets include 10 reps on each side. Start by having your feet shoulder width apart and work through the sets from 3 meters and then move on to 5. And if you don't have a partner, grab a round ball and find a wall. Progress into a split stance by promoting the leg closest to the wall or your partner forward. From there, work through your set from 3 meters and progress to the 5. Split stance again, but this time promote the other leg. So the danger with this one is getting your hips over rotated and facing your partner. So with this, just think hips towards the try line. That's your V that you're working with, rotating your torso. So we're into day 2. It's the same setup as before, but this time we're actually facing our partner. So just make sure that by loading to hip, we're now actually going to load to the belly button, so it's nice and centre and square. The other thing is just make sure that we're not going to engage our lower half, so we don't want this sort of motion, swinging motion. Cut that out. We just want to ensure our shoulders, core, bicep, triceps all connected, doing all the work for us. Repeat the sequence starting split stance, shoulder width apart. It's 10 passes each side, so make sure that you swap your guide hand or the hand on top after each pass. Split the stance and get the left leg forward. Notice in this video I'm catching by rotating my W. This is so I don't have to adjust my fingers when I'm passing the ball. Split the stance and change legs in the next set. This is an example of the power arm coming up and over the guide. Notice how the guide arm is still pointing at the target and the thumb is being ripped down to generate more spin. Here we take a look at the parallel finish with both hands pointing towards the target and thumbs ripping down. Whichever option you prefer, make sure that you finish with your shoulders relatively level. Right, to complete the circuit, follow the same sequence just with the feet alteration, turning at the 45. So rather than going from belly button, we're back to load to hip and swapping positions. Inside foot up, back leg up, and with this one, just make sure that we are keeping the hips relatively square to start with, and just try and emphasize that rotating the torso. What we want to avoid is the situation where our hips are facing our target. So hopefully you enjoyed that, guys. One real good process to do is video yourself and then analyse it afterwards. I certainly noticed with my technique I started to get a little bit relaxed and I started to fall away a little bit, so I wasn't punching through. I was sort of coming there and then readjusting. So a good little tip for me would be engaging that shoulder more and making sure that it is more of a punch. So I should be feeling it more in here. So a nice little observation for me. I can always get better. I hope you guys can too. Cheers. Distances and stances.